I'm Snow White, and you're watching Extinction Files on the Hayden and Company channel.
Hello, I'm Araga.
And I'm Hayden. Welcome back to Extinction Files. Today, we're investigating the disappearance of Andrewsarchus, a prehistoric predator that could snap you in half like a breadstick at Olive Garden. Once the ruler of its domain during the Eocene epoch, this absolute unit seemingly vanished without a trace. Why did it go extinct? Was it a victim of climate change? Eaten out of house and home by competitors? Or, and bear with me, did something more sinister happen?
More sinister than a 13-foot meat vacuum with hooves? I'm intrigued.
Strap in, folks. It's about to get prehistoric. The apex predator nobody really knows about. Let's start with what we know, or rather, what we don't know. Andrewsarchus is one of the most mysterious extinct creatures ever. The entire legacy of this beast comes from one fossil, just a skull. A huge skull, mind you. But still, just one. This fossil was discovered in the 1920s in Mongolia by a team led by paleontologist Roy Chapman Andrews. Fun fact, he's supposedly the real-life inspiration for Indiana Jones.
So, basically, Indy finds a giant skull, and the science world collectively loses its mind. I like it!
This skull is massive. It's over 3 feet long, with a mouth full of teeth designed to crush bones like they were popcorn kernels. Scientists believe Andrewsarchus weighed around 2,000 pounds and could stretch up to 13 feet long. But here's the kicker. It wasn't a wolf, or a bear, or even a dinosaur. It was more closely related to sheep, goats, and get the shippos.
So, basically, if a hippo and a wolf had a baby, and that baby grew up to be a metal band frontman, you'd get Andrewsarchus.
Exactly. But for all its terrifying stats, we don't know what this thing's body looked like. Did it have a long tail? Stumpy legs? Tiny, useless arms like a T-Rex? We just don't know. Honestly, Andrewsarchus is the equivalent of a blurry Bigfoot, photo-scary, mysterious, and raising more questions than answers. Theory 1. Climate change did it in. Let's get into the theories. First up, the big one, climate change. Around 34 million years ago, Earth went through a huge shift called the Eocene-Oligocene extinction event. Temperatures plummeted, ice sheets expanded, and ecosystems all over the globe got a massive shakeup.
Classic Ice Age vibes. You're chilling in a lush forest, munching on whatever's around, and suddenly the menu changes to barren wasteland.
Exactly. Andrewsarchus likely relied on a steady supply of prey animals. But as the climate cooled, the ecosystem supporting those animals collapsed. If you're a giant predator with a giant appetite, that's bad news.
Imagine being a giant carnivore with no food. It's like going to Costco and finding out they've run out of free samples.
Worse, because in this case, you are the sample. Theory 2. Competition killed the beast. Moving on to Theory 2. Competition. Andrewsarchus wasn't the only predator in town. During the Eocene, you had a lot of weird, toothy rivals, massive crocodiles, giant flightless birds like Gastornis, and even early ancestors of big cats and bears.
So, like the prehistoric version of a turf war?
Kind of. Andrewsarchus may have dominated for a while, but if other predators evolved to be faster, smarter, or better at hunting, it could have been game over. Think of it as a prehistoric version of Survivor. Except instead of getting voted off the island, you get eaten.
Or maybe Andrewsarchus just retired early. Like, you know what? I've crushed enough bones. I'm done.
Unlikely. Nature doesn't hand out pensions.
Theory 3. Mystery extinction event. Now, here's where things get juicy. Some scientists think Andrewsarchus might have fallen victim to a sudden, catastrophic event, something we don't even have on record. Maybe a localized volcanic eruption wiped out its habitat. Maybe a meteor hit, but only in its stomping grounds. Or maybe, just maybe, something weird happened.
Like what? A predator even bigger than Andrewsarchus showed up?
Or aliens.
Aliens?
Look, I'm not saying aliens wiped out Andrewsarchus, but I'm also not saying it.
You're saying an advanced extraterrestrial species traveled light years across space to hunt down and erase one prehistoric wolf hippo?
I'm just saying we don't have evidence they didn't. Theory 4. Evolutionary disappearance. Another possibility is that Andrewsarchus didn't go extinct at all, it just evolved into something else. Over millions of years, species adapt, change, and sometimes shrink. Maybe today's wolves, dogs, or even hippos are distant descendants of Andrewsarchus.
So, you're telling me my dog could be related to this thing?
In a way, yeah. It's like having a really scary great uncle nobody talks about.
My dog couldn't survive 2 minutes against a cat, let alone evolve from a bone-crushing monster.
Fair point.
Andrewsarchus in pop culture. Despite being a prehistoric legend, Andrewsarchus doesn't get much love in pop culture. It shows up in the Walking with Beasts documentary series, some video games, and Ect. But it's no T-Rex.
Yeah, you never hear kids saying, "When I grow up, I want to be an Andrewsarchus."
Which is a shame, because Andrewsarchus deserves its moment in the spotlight. Someone call Hollywood and pitch Andrewsarchus, the movie. I'm thinking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the skull, and maybe Chris Pratt as the confused paleontologist who finds it.
I'd watch that.
The final verdict. So, what happened to Andrewsarchus? Was it a victim of climate change? Did it lose out to competition? Did it evolve into something less terrifying, Gore? Did aliens really come down and take it out?
Honestly, I think it just peaked too early. Andrewsarchus was like the cool kid in high school who couldn't handle the real world.
Fair. Either way, the extinction of Andrewsarchus remains one of history's great mysteries. Until we find more fossils or discover its descendants munching on grass in a field somewhere, this case stays wide open. Got a theory about what happened to Andrewsarchus? Drop it in the comments below. And as always, until next time, folks, stay weird and keep an eye out for the next prehistoric cryptid mystery.
What extinct animal would you like to see next? Comment below.